Welcome back, everybody. Yards After the Catch podcast. It's your boy Al. I got two wonderful, wonderful co-hosts with me, Bars the God and Brian. How are we doing, gentlemen?
How we
It's
doing?
Godzilla, baby. You already know what it is. Shout out to Parts Yards After the Catch.
It's a wonderful day in the NFL world.
Yeah, we're all in sync, like a couple of volleyball periods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. It's never a wonderful day.
yeah, the sun didn't shine so bright this Monday, that's for sure. But we got a lot to get into. Bars kind of teased it right off the rip, so we'll jump right into it. AFC Championship was 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Started off clear skies. We got into a little bit of snow. Stidham stepped in. It was Stiddy City, but ultimately New England prevailed, getting to I think their 11th title appearance. 10 to
Yep.
7. Vrabel is the first coach in history to go back as a player as well as a coach. I'll open it up to you guys. What did you guys think of this game?
For me, I think at the end of the day, listen, whenever you have a weather game, any type of script or assumption that you may have had gets completely thrown out the window, right? Um, First half of this game was played in decent weather. No, I think no rain or snow, and then towards the end of the second quarter, it started picking up a little bit. Um, I thought Denver was the better team with Stidham in the first half, right? He threw the first touchdown. He looked really good on his first couple of drives. And then once weather happens, you see a team that's more, used to playing in that weather this year. New England had a couple of rain or snow games this year, unlike Denver. And just, they relied on veteran play and leadership and guidance and Vrabel, who, is used to this, to succeed through that. And I think Denver tried their best, but when you have a backup quarterback who hasn't thrown a ball in 3 years, adding the elements to it, he can only do so much. And I don't think Sean Payton did enough to help them, and put him in good situations once the weather hit. They abandoned the run game. I think this, in my opinion, this game screamed out, "Oh wow, we really missed J.K. Dobbins."
Yep.
I think, I see this team going to the Super Bowl, beating the Patriots with him on this roster, just to rely on that running back ability in this game.
Yeah.
New England, though, Drake May only threw 86 passes. It was all about the run game. Stevenson ran around a typical, snow game, 25 carries, 71 yards. Henderson really got barely any touches. I don't know what the deal was with that. Maybe a lot of it was audible with Drake May running the ball. But sound defensive play by them. And, the better coach team, in my opinion, is going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The game started off ridiculous. Like it looked like it could have gone either way. It looked like Drake May was about to get shut down. You saw him shaking his head at one point. He was just like he just felt like he couldn't get right. I don't know where the transition began or when the shift occurred, but that defense just started to let things go. But I didn't want to say that too. I want to kind of say that Patriots offense willed themselves into that victory. Like you kind of have to give it to them on that. But yeah, it was Stidham, bro. Like he said, it was Stiddy City. It was not. I wanted Bo Nix versus Drake May, and I got Drake May versus the second coming of Ryan Fitzpatrick's left sock. So I just need to know like what the NFL like organization was thinking with that one because clearly nobody saw Bo Nix get hurt. Nobody's seen it. So I just want to kind of know like because that I don't know. It was kind of lackluster. I thought I expected more of a high powered offense game like from the Patriots, but the way they've been playing everybody. But then again, that defense is pretty immaculate this year for the Broncos. But the Patriots pulled out. Like you said, it was very controlled in the first half, and once that weather kicked in, it's like the Broncos froze up a little bit. So
Yeah. I'll also say this in the second quarter, Sean Payton going for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal. Um,
oh hell
you
yeah.
know, that definitely swung the game because if you recall, the next drive after they fumble the ball on a strip sack. So that strip sack doesn't happen. Maybe you get another field goal and you get the field goal on that downs. It's a 13, to 7, 13 to 10 game towards the fourth quarter. It's a totally different play. They also missed the field goal as well, because of the snow, which I really believe that he should have flipped his decision making in that situation. It's like there's good weather, bad weather's coming in the game. This might be the time to kick the field goal because you're not going to have that ability in the fourth quarter because of, let's say, inclement weather. Where at that point, going for it on fourth down, in the snow might be a little more beneficial. The defensive cornerback, or safety might slip on the play, and you might be able to get a free receiver for a touchdown. It happens a bunch in snow games. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes, you have to put your Al Roker meteorologist hat on and, look at it sometimes. And you got to have situational awareness and realize, hey, weather's coming. We have to play the game a certain way to win. And that's what Vrabel did with, running the ball with Stevenson and designed runs with May once it started snowing.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, for me, I kind of anticipated an abysmal offensive game from both sides. We didn't know when the weather was going to be a factor, but regardless, you got a backup quarterback who hasn't taken a snap in 3 years. You got Drake May, first deep playoff run. He's going to have nerves. This team has had offensive struggles through the first 2 rounds, and you know that you're going to be relying on that defense if you're Vrabel. So I expected a low-scoring game, not quite this low. I think the easiest things to point to that were decision makers was Sean Payton's, inability to take those points early on. That could have easily tied the game when he decided to go for it down within his 30 with Stidham. But I think too, like there was plenty of missed kicks in this game. I mean, there was just I'm trying to remember the kicker's name for
McManus?
Denver. Is it McManus?
Is it McManus?
No,
it used to be
Will Lutz.
Will Lutz. Yeah, it used to be McManus.
Yeah, it was McManus forever. Yeah, Will Lutz because he came up from New Orleans with Sean Payton. Yeah, he had an uncharacteristic miss with the weather, and so did Borregales too. I mean, it's just these are the games that come down to inches. I thought the game was a matter of hot potato towards the end because it was like 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. Couldn't get more than 45 seconds off the clock. With the amount of stoppages, it was pretty wild, pretty hilarious. And eventually it was just kind of like running out the clock. You got to feel for Stidham. He did kind of everything that he was told to do. I think Davis Webb has a bright future on the open market, which we'll talk about later in the show. And he definitely pulled out all the stops for Peyton. But it is what it is. We'll talk more about this episode tonight for our audience at home. We'll talk more about the losers of these games, and then we'll talk more about Seahawks and the Patriots in next week's episode with the Super Bowl preview. So with that being said, I don't want to drag it on. Denver season in review. How do we feel about this team moving forward in reflection?
I mean, like overall, I felt like Sean Payton would have been the deciding factor in that, and I still think moving forward, Sean Payton is the deciding factor on that team. He brings a coaching experience that allows them to stay focused and not panic too hard in those high pressure moments. And when you just overall kind of look at their schedule and what they did this year, they beat the Eagles. Like that was a pretty good team. But other than that, their schedule was pretty low end, right? Next year, like we're gonna see if they can pretty much hold up, if they can play. Because what they're gonna get, they should get a tougher schedule next year. So let's see what they got going on. Bo Nix has shown more upside this year. Their run game is strong. Their defense is still strong. A couple of older pieces. So maybe like with like maybe some well-placed picks in the draft, they might actually have even younger or even better defense, but a couple more pieces to add around Bo Nix, like some fresh wide receivers, and I think this team actually can be scary.
Yeah, they do have to play the NFC West next year as well as the NFC South and AFC North. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I mean, we've
4 losses right there.
Yeah, I mean,
no, seriously, yeah, it's how it is.
It really is.
Vikings defense, we saw what they do even with a bad quarterback.
Yeah,
that defense is even real. Like, we might even say it's even realer. So it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Brian, brief thoughts on the Broncos. We'll move on.
So for me, I've said it the entire year, I thought they were the worst 14-3 team I've ever seen. They
Yep,
really relied on that defense, and kudos to them. You play to your strengths. They felt lackluster, and they lacked identity throughout the year, which I think, especially on offense, which is I think why they fired their offensive coordinator, their wide receiver coach, and
yep.
another coach this week. I expect now because of the buzz with Davis Webb almost getting a head coach position or an OC position, he'll get promoted so he stays in house. If not, to maybe go to another head coaching opportunity or maybe the Eagles OC position. For me, it also comes down to two big things. The Evan Ingram signing was a disappointment. He did not live up to his signing. I would
Hmm.
imagine for them they need to target a guy like maybe Dallas Goedert, who could really act as almost a wide receiver two on this team out of the tight end position. And then you really, in the beginning of the season, you got quality running back play from Dobbins, but he's injury prone as we all know. And Harvey didn't live up to expectations. So if they have the cap space, maybe you go after a Breece Hall or a Travis Etienne, and you try to pair that with a Bo Nix, who, in my opinion, proved himself in the Bills game, just in his style of play, coming back from that ankle injury. And I think next season they'll have, it'll be hard, but I think now, you see the picture, you taste a little bit of winning in the playoffs. How do you respond? How do you win now and move forward?
Yeah, all great points. I think adding another name to that list of people who to keep in house if you can is Vance Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
This was a top five defense. I know
Yes, absolutely.
he's had a struggle as a head coach, but I don't think he was really given a fair shake with the conditions of that roster at the time. But I think it's more important that you keep him in house as the defensive coordinator to keep that train flowing, and maybe make
Absolutely.
concessions down the line that he may have some stake in the future of the Broncos. But all that aside, I think that was all great analysis. I'm kind of with you guys in terms of the outlook, especially now that we've exited this game in a 10-7 final. I do want to move on to the NFC Championship game where we had nothing but bangers. Nothing but bangers. This was the rematch of all rematches, game three in Seattle, and it did not disappoint. Down the stretch, Rams have the ball. They're down four, and time just simply runs out. Seattle takes care of business 31-27. You see him after the game, he's going up to Cooper Kupp, congratulating him, said, go get that chip. A lot of mutual respect there. For me, it was hard to watch the Rams go down the way they did um, and watch the season end on them with having them in the Super Bowl as my original preseason pick. I thought Stafford was good enough to be that dude. I just think that it was just one task too many with this defense for Seattle. So hats off to Mike McDonald in his first year. Absolute stud. Kubiak we'll talk about later in the show as well. He's got a very bright future.
Mm-hmm.
And around this whole roster, the reconstruction, the pivot that they've done in a competitive NFC West has been nothing short of absolutely miraculous in short order. But I'll open it up to you guys. Reflections on the game.
I mean, I love this game here. Absolute. I expected it to be a close game, and I'm just, Sam Darnold sees ghosts no more. I'm really happy and excited for this guy, going through all he's gone through in the league and finally being able to prove himself. I think he's at the best playoff run I've seen in a while from a quarterback, just on a non-turning the ball over rate and just actually playing sound football. The run game without Charbonnet played better. We've been saying it all year. You got to feed Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, 4 catches for 49 yards out of the backfield. He's not just a running back, he's a receiver too. He's a playmaker. When you utilize him, you guys win. JSN yet again is reason why he's the leading receiving leader, 10 of 153 and a touchdown, just killing it. And their defense, in my opinion, has been the best defense I've seen since that early Broncos Super Bowl win with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, and like the early 2000s Ravens. This team, this front seven is phenomenal. I think the signing of DeMarcus Lawrence, the former Cowboy this
Hmm.
year, cannot go unnoticed as one of the top free agency acquisitions in the year. Also getting heat from Cowboy Nation for saying he can't win a Super Bowl in Dallas and then saying he's going to win one in Seattle and now going to the Super Bowl. Good way to play your cards. So, no, they're just a good sound win by them. Regarding the Rams, their biggest problem is Sean McVay. And a lot of people will think I'm crazy for that, but in-game play calling decisions and just his overall game decisions has lost them about 3 games this season. I know this one and then the 49ers, I would say on just his game time decisions. He just I don't know if it's because he's trying to run plays more and not really pay attention to the big picture, which a lot of head coaches who call plays and get involved with the offenses sometimes have. But for me, that's where I saw the struggles here, as well as their defense. Their defense is very good, but it's young and still going through the growing pains. So, there's only so much window you have with Devontae Adams and the rookie deal of Puka and, a year or two up to Stafford. Time to shed some cap or create some cap space and really plug up those holes on defense. And they'll be back here again next year. I wouldn't be shocked. It's just for them writing on the wall the entire season. I think the Atlanta game this year really put a lot of emphasis on their faults of the defense is definitely bend but don't break. But against a stout offense, they bend almost towards breaking.
Yeah, and just to go down with it, like Sam Darnold, like he said, doesn't see ghosts anymore. I can't even believe we're looking at the same quarterback we saw on the New York Jets. Kenneth Walker, crazy, just crazy good. Like you said, he's not just a running back; he plays like a receiver. Rashid Shaheed, they're not talking about that pickup, but it was pretty big. I know he had run one back. Didn't he run one back? Not in the game, but
the divisional.
Yeah,
it was in the divisional, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He ran one back. So it's like you kind of got to look at the Jackson Smith and Jigma. JSN is looking like a fucking super stud. Like it's just no way to like really sorry about that, guys. There's no way to really to put any other words on it other than like, yeah, he's having a sensational year. Like this season is like a masterclass in how to make your quarterback look the best. Because I don't even know. Like every time he touched maybe like one game, he was sub 100, or maybe a few games, maybe I don't know. But even then, that sub 100 was like at least 60 or 80 like yards. Like you phenomenal year. If you ask me, him for MVP, but he's probably going to get Offensive Player of the Year. So it is pretty much what it is. But long story short, like it was just a great game. I hate to see the Rams go out the way they did. I thought the Rams played a phenomenal game, and to get to the championship, and it was the divisional. They played a phenomenal game. Listen, I just can't. I just can't believe they went down like that. But actually, I had my money on the Rams, but it is what it is. The Seahawks are phenomenal right now. Their defense is crazy. Like you said, shout out to the DeMarcus Lawrence pickup. And then they just Julian Love, they picked him up a while back, like maybe like 2-3 years ago. Great pickup, low key. You just got to look at that team as in all. Tariq Woolen is really like come out and stepped into his role as like. So it is what it is. They played a good game.
Yeah.
It should be noted 3 former Jets on this team: Sam Darnold, Leonard Williams, and the kicker Jason Myers, all career years.
Yeah.
And Jason Myers, which Mark will never stop letting me forget, went to his alma mater, Marist, too. So shout out, Mark.
Nice. Led the league in scoring this year, 171 points.
Oh, baby. Well, I mean, I want to keep the focus on Njigba because not reluctantly, but he was just slightly out of my periphery all year. I got to give him love and props. He definitely deserved what may be Offensive Player of the Year. He was tops in receiving yards all year, 1793 at 119 receptions. At the 10 tutties, which was top 7 at his position. Just a phenomenal year. And what I see from Darnold is I see clarity, I see confidence, I see a team that's not built on a game manager. And I think, I mean, there were memes going around all week because I follow a lot of like Raider shit posting accounts. It's like, is Gino really that bad that as soon as he leaves the team, they go to the chip? But I don't know. I think that this team was really like built wholesale with McDonald in that front office and Kubiak and their tutelage. Like they have dogs all around this team, and this feels like Legion of Boom 2.0. They're young, they're super athletic, they're long as shit at every level. And I mean, the one caveat we had with this team was like, how are they going to divvy the reps with the backs? But Kenneth Walker showed you in this playoff run that like he has a second level to him. He's got a next level of gas to him. He could receive out of the backfield. So I really like. I'm so promising on them in the bowl, and just reflecting on this game for the Rams, it's like Stafford's going to win his final year, and I think that they're going to hold. I think they're going to hold pat with what they have until he expires. I really do. I think they're putting him out the pasture at 38. He's not. He's going to get. I mean, he may get a bag from somebody else for like a 2-year deal, a desperate team, but his window is now and next year, and that's really it. I really think the glaring hole was just not having that dimensionality with a run game. Corum and Kyron were really disappointing this year. I thought Nakua had basically what Njigba had this year. He had it last year, and I think he just ran out of gas. I think he was starting to get blanketed a bit. I thought Devontae didn't. He came on, and he was a great second option, but he wasn't the decoy I would have hoped. I really thought that he was going to come out and have a bigger presence on the field in this game, particularly with Parkinson, too. He had some really monster moments in that divisional round and then with the first round with Carolina. So all that being said, I think that they have like a 1-2 year window. If they don't maximize it and they don't win the NFC Championship next year, that's when you fully blow it up. And anything short of that, I totally, for sure, agree with that. But I agree with you, Brian, to a degree. Like when you have hardware and you're McVay at that age, you're going to be around for a while. I mean, but it was the COVID championship, so there is that part of it too.
No, yeah, I just feel like with him, he's risky when he shouldn't be. It's like the reverse, right? And it's just like with him, you have all these pieces. I think he overthinks and tries to get too technical when it's 4th and 2. You have your running back is 6 all year in rushing yards on a down year. Run the fucking football.
Yeah.
I don't care that you have the MVP on the team. Like math is math, right? What's easier? With their offensive line, Kyron Williams falls forward and gets 2 yards, right?
Yeah.
So just situational play like that. And with them, I think the big issue is Devontae Adams, right? Is the number 2. He's the number 1 in the red zone. He's more like the number 3 outside of it because Stafford likes throwing a Kyron or the tight end mainly as the wide 2 guy. Nakua clears the field. You got to find another route runner. Honestly, this team really needed Cooper Kupp. Pre-injury, like that kind of like route runner, just to layer it in because it's like Nakua. You get me? I'm sorry.
That's
all right, yeah. Like this team, like you have Nakua as the deep threat, short yardage in red zone. You have Devontae. Where's your intermediate guy? And they don't have that anymore. And I think as a result of that, it's not as dynamic as it should be.
Yeah, all great points.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that was pretty succinct and pretty in depth and a good analysis of kind of how this entire thing panned out in Seattle. With that being said, we will shift over gears to some of the coaching carousel. I'm going to give Brian a minute to pull up one of our handy-dandy graphics. We do have a lot of movement in the league as of today. We're recording Wednesday, January 28th. Today, we had the most recent news developing Todd Monken. Cleveland Browns hire lock up Todd Monken for a multi-year deal. This is a Cleveland team that was bottom 5 in literally almost every offensive statistical category last year. Yards per game, total offense, points per game, sacks allowed, running yards per game, total rush, yards per rush, rushing touchdowns, passing yards per game. This is all going to be centered around his history with Lamar and Huntley the last 2 years, and how can he make a prize pick out of Shador. And I really think that's all it boils down to. They've whiffed as much as the Raiders have in years past with coaching. I think the expectations are very low, but I think this was a promising pick from the standpoint that he wasn't on a lot of people's radar. It was really just Harbaugh bringing him to New York. That was the only really the only real caveat here in terms of the negotiation. But what do you guys think of this signing for Cleveland?
I think it's a decent signing. It's definitely, I would say, lackluster on the
Yeah,
name kind of thing. Like me
right.
personally, you have Jim Schwartz in Cleveland, and your defense has been top five every year under him. You can't let him out the door. I think, in that situation, you promote him to head coach internally, and then you look for, a Davis Webb, let's say, as your offensive coordinator, some or like a new guy that's up and coming that could use that spark. Is it at the end of the day, Cleveland Brown football is defensive football, right? We think of Nick Saban, we think of Bill Belichick, those kind of guys that coach there at times, right? You think of defensive minded play with offense as a complement. So I think that was the route I wanted to see. I still think Monken's a good pick. We'll see, it's run heavy. Will Shador has the ability to run, which, he likes to do with his offense. So you have that schematic built in there. We'll see what they do in free agency. For me, it's, to be to run his offense, you need players. How are you going to get them? Who are you going to get? We'll see.
Yeah, bars. Any thoughts on this hiring? And I apologize for the people at home. This is the only one that hasn't been filled in. We were very last minute here getting this stuff together. But if you want to zoom a little bit, Brian, just to make it a little bigger. And bars, what are your thoughts on this Cleveland hire?
I don't have any thoughts on it. I hate Cleveland, bro. I just
Nah.
kind
Not worried.
of
You're not
like,
worried.
I'm not worried at all, man. It doesn't matter who they get to coach that team, bro. It's who they. So, or is that Cincinnati? Don't matter. Like to me,
Yeah.
both of them Ohio teams is just trash, and they're gonna stay trash. There's only two real coaching in this coach carousel that I worry about. So you guys, if we're going in order, the next one is also a miss for me too. So I'll wait till we get to the last two in the carousel to really put my thoughts in there.
But we're gonna have beef in the next segment. Don't you worry.
Oh, don't worry, I got you.
No, I think yeah, this was. I mean, this is one of those things where I think this has to be, no matter what the fit is, it's going to be a short term deal because he's 62 years old. He's one of the seven oldest coaches in the league. He's been an offensive coordinator for 7, 8 years. His success is exclusively tied to black quarterbacks, mobile, getting this offense high powered with the team, with the roster that they have. Defense has never been the problem in Cleveland. We talked about that. They have real pieces on the outside, and I think getting Shador on page and getting that offensive line continuing to keep rocking and rolling for him because he had great protection most of the year. I think that's going to be the key to success to keep them competitive. With that being said, we'll move on to a little bit of a spicier coaching promotion. As of today, I think it was as of yesterday, Joe Brady promoted as head coach of the Buffalo Bills, formerly the offensive coordinator. We'll get into this entirely, but I'll save my thoughts for last. I want to actually have Brian jump in first, and then I'll let Boris do a little bit.
What a dumb move, man. Like, I just don't get it. It's like the entire year we said that the offense was iffy. It's all Josh Allen. Like, this guy's been here for 5 years. We know the deal now. Um, I want the next step. I don't want the same thing, you know? With this team, I thought the offense just didn't have enough going on it for them to win games. The defense was decent this year. They had some injuries and missed some players, but they were still decent. To just match like for like, I think it's a waste of, 2 years, let's say, if he gets fired at Allen's prime. To be honest with you, I would have sent the boat over to Kevin Stefanski. And give him as much money as he wanted, or honestly, or a Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy's a dream um, head coach for a team like this, because of how high the floor is for Mike McCarthy, and just the pedigree of offenses he's run with Dak Prescott and with Aaron Rodgers. I wanted to see a move like that. This to me just seems like a very conservative move that they're not really thinking um in the retrospect of like what's left of the prime of Allen.
Boris, you got the floor, dude. Tee off.
Sorry about that.
And then
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about shit. Go ahead.
Which coach is this?
Joe Brady for the Bills.
What does it matter? They're gonna suck. Listen. They may not have fallen off the cliff like I predicted them to, but no Lamar Jackson, no Patrick Mahomes, still no playoffs. You get your coach fired. Hey, look, I don't got nothing else to say about these teams. The Bills Mafia needs they got some explaining to do. The biggest explaining to do is why you still got Josh Allen. Yeah, cool. MVP, trade his ass. Because obviously he like that's your whole team. Trade him, go get somebody up the draft, get some offensive pieces. I don't know. Do something. Matter of fact, blow that whole shit up. At this point, they just firing the head coach. They need to blow the whole shit up. Get rid of the GM, get rid of the coordinators, everybody. First of all, who the fuck drafted Keon Coleman? Was it Keon Coleman or was it?
Yeah.
Coleman.
Yeah, what the fuck was that all about? Second of all, who the hell was in charge of free agency? Like, get rid of that
Brandon Beam.
Brandon Beam.
Brandon Beam.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say about Brandon Beam. Don't you worry.
Erase him. Because yo, you had one job, just the one, and look what you did. And I'm like, yo, listen, but I can't even complain. Look what my team did. We did diddly squat. So
Yeah, but imagine that Steelers team with Josh Allen. That's a totally different team, you know?
it's the second coming of Big Ben, but
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
better.
saying.
With wheels, though.
With wheels.
Yeah.
Big Ben can move, you know.
Not
He
like
can
Josh.
move, but he ain't have wheels.
No, I know.
He can move.
He was like elusive Big Ben. It was weird.
He
No,
can take
but
a couple hits.
yeah, I don't know. With me, it's just like it's embarrassing. It's just like also the owner comes out after the firing and like literally says we never wanted Keon Coleman. I'm sorry, but like it's just even if you that's the truth, you don't tell the public you're incompetent, right? Like that's not the move. It doesn't give me confidence as a fan, let's say. Hey, they don't even want to draft a guy. They had disagreement, they still drafted him. In my opinion,
Yeah.
if you disagree, even if it's the number one pick and it's the best quarterback in the class, you need to be on a united front to be able to manage this, right? You cannot be going about it like that. It's just I like Boris. I like the idea of trading Allen because I don't see this team going anywhere. This window had a 1 year window with the injuries. You're not, Joe Burrow is healthy next year. That's a 10-win team just because of him.
Yeah.
Jaguars and Denver and the Pats are now up and coming. AFC has the best quarterbacks in the league now. It might be a good idea to get three or four first round picks and restart the thing.
Nah, fuck it. Let's just do nothing. That's the
All right.
Bills' way.
Y'all clowns done?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'm going to be contrarian here, not because I'm defending anybody. I have no allegiance to Buffalo. I'm just going to give it to you, and I'm going to explain why I think this was a phenomenal promotion. First of all, I totally 100% agree with you guys. Beam should have been gone way before McDermott. McDermott was in that building first. He had the coaching job and ascended that team before Beam ever took over as GM. Joe Brady presided over the best offense we ever saw in college football, and he did a phenomenal job in the upgrades, the rise they had in 3-4 years' time with that offense in Buffalo. For me, and I've talked about this ad nauseum with Mark, he wanted Daboll from the minute they exited the playoffs. And I said, dude, like, I understand you want continuity. You want to hold your cards to your chest. The Pagula family, they want security instead of radical change. That's why you left Beam in place, which I totally agree with we all disagree with. But if you're going to go this route and you're going to pack it in and you're just going to ride this ship till it sinks and give them one more trip around the sun to draft and to hit free agency before it's over, you have to have a plan of continuity. You can't just go out and fire McDermott and then have no continuity plan, which is why I like Brady getting the call to be on the side of the field with Josh, calling audibles at the line of scrimmage instead of being in the booth. We saw him all year in the booth. I thought there was a little bit of disconnect with the play call. I didn't like his role being up there. I thought he needed the energy to be on the sideline. This team is I understand it's very easy to just like kind of call the number and be like, they're maxed out. This was their opportunity, this and that. Josh had injuries. I'm not excusing him. Everybody, if you're healthy, you play. But I think this was a bigger failure of Brandon Beam and not filling up during the draft the past 2 years, whiffing on players, guys getting hurt, and not making the right adjustments at the deadlines. And I think it's more to do about that than it is about Joe Brady. Joe Brady could leave the building and he can get a head coaching job almost anywhere. I mean, he's that dude, in my opinion. I think he's that skilled and that well equipped with any quarterback he gets his hands on, especially if he gets Burrow. I mean, my God. So with that being said, I think this was kind of the only move that they could have had to improve from where they were at that shelf with that capacity that they hit.
Yeah, no, I like that. The question is now, I agree with everything you're saying. It makes sense now looking at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You need to hit free agency hard. Like very simple truth right here. There is no way possible that you could not sign George Pickens. And that's coming from a Dallas fan. You need to sign George Pickens. You need that player, right? You have James Cook. That's great. Honestly, you need more offense because you're not going to have enough receivers. It's not that heavy. Sign Breece Hall, do a 1A, 1B.
Take him addition by subtraction. Take him out of the division. And
exactly. You just need to load the offense and the defense. Kobe Dean from the Eagles, Blankenship from the Eagles. You got to just start grabbing players from these playoff teams. You need to rebuild. You got to realistically, you got to sit Josh Allen down and go, do you want to get paid or do you want to win a Super Bowl? We need you to take a pay cut and reorganize the cap here so it's not all in the season. Maybe we do a signing bonus. We need to clear up, $40 million.
And I honestly, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, we know that's a salary cap league, which is why it's important with these decisions, like signing Pickens on a max, even for a year.
That's $35 million. So basically, then you're done.
Yeah, but I get it. I also think draft wise, you're going to get Bass back healthy, but I still think you should draft a kicker, maybe late 6th or 7th round. And you need an edge rusher should be number one priority along with safeties in that draft because there's some serious solid edge rushers from the Big Ten this year coming out. They're going to have their pick of the litter, especially towards the bottom of the first round. I think that should be top priority. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you need to get a cornerback too, because at the end of the day, Tre'Davious White isn't getting any younger.
Yep. Yeah, he's got injury history too. Yeah.
And who did they give up in free agency? Was it no? They didn't give up Poyer, did they?
Poyer left.
Poyer left, right?
They let Coop go.
Yeah, Coop left.
Probably a couple other guys too.
And honestly, Milano's been suffering with a lot of injury.
A lot of injuries.
So
he's a shell of himself
it's
now.
time to bolster. Yeah, it's time to bolster up that linebacking core too.
Yeah, 100%. Look, they got holes. I just think you need a continuity plan with the limited window you have still open.
Yeah, no, I see it.
That's my argument.
I just hate them.
I know you do. It's all good, bro. It's all love. Mike McDaniel hired as the offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers. Personally, I actually really like this hire. I think as a coach, he was abysmal. I thought he was dealt a shorthand with Tua and his limitations. Miami, fair weather, a lot of distractions, young guy. Whenever I looked at him, it just looks like a gooner that walked out of his college dorm.
My God.
That's so true, though. It's so true.
Bro, I didn't take him seriously. And I'm not saying LA's better, but I think with Harbaugh and his guidance, being with Herbert to really feel confident in your product, I think that's kind of like the best suitable position. And I think you got to keep up with the Joneses. The AFC West is going to be stacked.
Yeah.
So I agree with this hire as well. I liked it. I thought that we would be bold and pick up McDaniels as our offensive coordinator. Now, the thing that I like about this hire is that it gives him some time to learn under Harbaugh, to really see what it is to be a head coach. But then on top of that, he had a lot of good creative play calling that I feel that the Chargers could benefit from. So it's a win-win, I believe. He steps down from the head coaching, doesn't have all that responsibility. Now he's back to a coordinator. It allows him to really like focus on the side of the game that he likes the most, which is the offense. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. With me, I feel like, I always say he's like the NFL's Pauly Shore, just like that weirdo guy, just
Perfect.
hanging out. No, it is true,
Yeah,
but
that's so
I
true.
I think he's a great mind. I just think
Sup,
he's a little.
buddy?
I think
How
he's
you
just
doing?
yeah, I think he's just immature, and that's not his fault his own. I also think he got handed a basket case in the owner of the Dolphins and just the whole conundrum with Tua
Yeah.
and everything. It's nice to see that he's actually going to the team that should have been the Dolphins quarterback in Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think this will benefit both of them. Harbaugh will mature McDaniels to the point that he will then become a head coach. I think he'll be a head coach again, no doubt in my mind. I just think he needs to roughen out, honestly, the communication and the leadership skills more. I think the X's and O's are fine. So I think Jim could help him with that. And then I think on the other end, McDaniels will control the offense and allow Jim Harbaugh to look more game time situation and just the well-roundedness of program building, which he did phenomenal in the 49ers and in Michigan. So I think when you're too, like I always say, a head coach should not be too heavy in one or the other. That's why I hate them calling plays. It needs to be this program building, this recruiting, this drafting. It's more it's at the end of the day, it's a managerial position as a head coach
Yeah.
now, and you cannot be taught. You need to have quality coordinators. So I think this right here, my opinion, if they all come back healthy, they could win the AFC West like any of them here. I think this is the best coordinator hire of the cycle.
Agreed.
Yeah. Harbaugh is not an offensive core. I mean, he's turned teams around in short order, but he's never been the central focus of maximizing that offense. And he's kind of always had a West Coast approach, ground and pound,
Yeah,
run heavy. That's the opposite of what they want to do with Herbert. So they need
he was
someone
in San
whispering.
Fran for so long.
They need someone whispering in Herbert's ear and getting him, keeping him upright. And I think whenever these guys go from OC to coach, there's always going to be a discrepancy. You don't have time for the looking at special details. He can go back to doing what he does best, and that's kind of just the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, yeah. And also like just think about it, right? Uh Quarterback upgrade.
Yeah,
The tight end is playing phenomenal. And in my opinion, they have the best route running trio in Johnston, McConkey, and Allen,
yeah,
in the league. So like I think this honestly, this might be the top three offense if everyone stays healthy on the O line.
that's the key. Stay healthy. We're gonna move to the AFC North. I'm gonna open this up to Bars because this is his precious team, his pride and joy. A lot of speculation about who they were going to fill for this next 20-year term in Pittsburgh. They don't have
Too
a lot
much
of coaches.
speculation.
They don't hire them that often. So what are your thoughts on the McCarthy signing? I mean, I didn't see this coming.
You didn't see it coming because you're not tuned in to the Steelers like I am.
No.
At some point between the names of Nate Shieldhouse, Chris Shula, Brian Flores, um, who the hell is the other guy? Some other guy, and Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy probably came up as like the sixth name or like the seventh name, but he was third in running. Like, and for a while, if anybody messes with Cauchy, he was like second in the running and first at one point. And then a couple reports came out. They're looking like, okay, Chris Shula. I'm thinking, yeah, this is it. And then that Mike McCarthy shit starts taking like real, it starts really getting life and people are getting worried. And then it's just one day you wake up to a nightmare and your Twitter feed is telling you that the guy who just, barely goes 500 with 5 seasons of the Cowboys is now your head coach. It's like we just like poaching former Green Bay Packers or something. Honestly, I don't have a time. What do I have to think about this? You got rid of one mic for another mic. Some people are saying that one was defense. Now you got offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say for the defense? Now we're gonna have a great offense and an abysmal defense, and our defense was already starting to look lackluster, anyways. Highly paid and underperforming. So, like, honestly, what do I have to say about this? This fucking sucks. Fuck out of here. Burn the whole organization down. Art Rooney, yo, I love the Steelers. I love, yo, Art Rooney, love you, man. Don't know what your old ass is doing. Maybe there's a bit of dementia starting to creep in. I need you to take it back to Ireland and sit your ass over there because it's the dub. It's a dub. I need blow the whole organization up. Blow the whole thing up. I hate to say it, but blow it all up.
We
Blow it
were
all up.
we were kind of leaning that way the last episode. It's a real concern. Brian, before I jump in with my thoughts, what do you got?
I mean, I like this hire.
Oh,
With a healthy, competent quarterback on Dallas, he went 3 straight 12-5 seasons. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's like for like in Mike Tomlin, but if there's if out of all these head coaches available, the guy with the highest floor was Mike McCarthy. We've seen John Harbaugh have losing seasons. Mike McCarthy doesn't really have that, so you are getting that Mike Tomlin aspect. For what you want to do going forward, which is probably draft a quarterback or sign a free agent and build and have at least competency in the offense, which is your worst, the last honestly like 8 years, it's been the worst part of your team. That this guy will reset the tone there. He is a local from Pittsburgh. He has a lot of connections there. It's a homegrown talent. I think he will. I think if they get some changes in the defense and some free agency, maybe they'll trade T.J. Watt, and you could sign a competent quarterback.
blasphemy.
Yeah, I know, but it's unfortunately he's aging now. Listen, Dallas did it with DeMarcus Ware. You got to do it with T.J. Watt. It's
And now
sad.
DeMarcus Ware's about to go win a ring. So
Yeah,
you
no,
go
I know.
trade
Lauren,
TJ
no,
Watt so
Lawrence let
TJ Watt can win
Lawrence.
a ring?
No, that was Lawrence. That was
I
Lawrence.
refuse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
where went and got a ring though too. But like all I'm saying
Yeah.
is like you listen at this point, right? You're not winning the Super Bowl, right? So you need assets. So you get a guy that could keep you in the mix, right? And if you could trade off some assets, like Highsmith probably could pull a third. Like you just need to start getting younger, and then you develop a coordinator that could then take the realm. You don't know. It's very possible that Tomlin takes off for 2 seasons and comes back. I wouldn't be shocked. Um,
Sounds crazy. I'm trading Frymouth.
yeah, no, I would
He's
too,
got
though.
crazy upside. He's got
100%.
I can get like at least a third
Yeah, no,
and,
100%. You trade.
or like two or like a player and a pick for
Yeah,
Frymouth. He's
yeah,
got
no,
crazy upside. He's just been underutilized.
yeah, yeah, and that's all a scheme. Like Arthur Smith left now to go to Ohio State, I think it was. So McCarthy will
Yeah,
probably, yeah,
because
McCarthy will bring in the competent guy. It's more of a balanced offense. You need a better running back. I see if they get it's the key with McCarthy is you need to allow him to work the GM room a bit to get the acquisitions. If he's able to get the acquisitions and talent, you'll have a solid playoff team that's better than what you're having now. At the end of the day, once you hit playoffs, it's offense, in my opinion, and this is the guy that's going to be churning it around.
just know that I'm down to blow it up.
Oh, I, I,
I got
I
this.
think
I
I
got the
think you should
detonator.
too. I know I would do it too, but like that's just not what the Steelers do, right? They're all about being at least average. It's the same thing with Dallas. I see it every year. We always try to push to be average. It doesn't work in the long run, but unfortunately, these are just the mindsets of these organizations because it's money. It's the Steeler
Yo,
brand.
get ready for the first losing season in 19 season. Just get ready. The 20th season that I have seen, and I wouldn't even say the 20th. It's probably my 25th season as a Steelers fan. I can't even remember, but in that time, I in my 25 years of being a Steelers fan or more, because I've been a Steelers fan since the third grade. So I don't feel like doing that math right now, but I know it's more than 20 years. So in that more than 20-year span, I've gotten to watch, pardon me, 19 seasons of a great record, 19 seasons of us not having to draft high.
Mhm.
Coach Tomlin once said to Chase Young, I think, was it? He said, we can't, he said, I love guys like you, but we gotta lose to get them. Like, we gotta lose to get
Yeah,
you.
no, it's the truth. You never
We
see
gonna
those
be there
guys.
next year and the year after. We gonna be there. I think they do give McCarthy like 5 years over there because they gave
Signed him for
Tomlin, huh?
They signed him for 5.
I think what I'm saying is I think they give him his full 5. I don't think that he gets. I think we do go through 2 losing seasons, and we get some great draft capital. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like after that it might be a small turnaround, and then the team will start looking great again. But I don't feel like even if he bombs 3 seasons, I don't think they're gonna fire him to get a new coach because that's not the Steeler way.
It's not the Steeler way, but what also is not the Steeler way is signing a 62-year-old coach. I'm looking it up right now. Chuck Noll, when he took over Pittsburgh, 37 years old. When Cowher took over, 34.
30, come
When
on,
Tomlin
was like
34. They were all babies. This dude is ancient. He's not built for the future of the league. I don't like being the guy shaming the boomer, but I just don't understand. Like, even if he plays out his 5 years and it's ugly and it's first round departures and this team is as old as it is in 5 years, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to have a 62-year-old guy leading the charge, blowing up this roster and getting all these new guys in the organization.
In 5 years, he has 4 playoff appearances with the Dallas, 1 win.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at for the short term. I agree with you, Bars. I'm looking at the time he spent from 06 to 18 with Rodgers in Green Bay, going 108, 62-1, and having a 2010 Super Bowl and a 10-8 record in the playoffs. But again, those days are so far gone. It's hard to hire on that, even if you're going to sell it with Rodgers for 2 years. It's really hard, man.
I get it, but like I would give credit to those Dallas years. Those losses were really not on him. We didn't have a defense, or
my God!
Listen. I watched every game.
Here we go.
Listen, I watched every game. We played a prime Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan with all 49ers at their prime. You know what I mean?
We're not doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying you got to look at those losses, right? We were playing no injury prime 49ers, right? No, they were going to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship every year. Unfortunately, that fucked us, right? So it's like, we know how Dak is. So he did what you can. But
Brian, like the NFC East is also not the AFC North too.
Yeah.
In the sense of the future, I'm just talking about. Like, y'all have pedigree. You all have pedigree. Philly's going to be there. Dallas, you'll be there probably. But it's you got to keep up with Cincy and you got to keep up with Baltimore. And like, I just don't think the way they're organized. I mean, they're just not equipped to for the future. That's the problem.
Yeah, I just don't. Unfortunately, when you have a culture of you must win, you're never gonna be able to do it. So,
but this was the year to blow it up. Then.
Yeah, I know, but you're trying to make sense with someone that doesn't know how to make sense, right? So the Rooneys don't know how to make sense on this. They cannot blow it up because it doesn't make money for them.
They need to blow it up.
No, young and exciting and bad.
If they want to make money, they have to blow the team up so we could actually get some. Good.
Young and exciting and bad makes money.
Yes, they should have kept Pickens.
I just don't think you're built like he wants to have his coach for 20 years. You're not going to get it by signing McCarthy. That's my problem. That's my problem.
Yeah,
you're going to get Joe Biden by year 5.
You might have by 3.
Year 2, You're going to get second term Joe Biden. And he's gonna and they're gonna be calling
he'll be the
Wildcats on 4th and 10. Listen. I don't care what they say. I don't care what it is, man. You really got to stop and look at this shit, bro.
Yeah.
They went senior citizen shopping for a quarterback last year, and it kind of panned out. And now they've gone even further. They've gone to the hospice and go take a coach out, okay? To bring this team back into contention. The Rooneys are sharing smoke rooms with Jerry Jones. Yeah, and I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah, his old wrinkly ass.
If Mike Tomlin gets hired as a Cowboys head coach in 2 years and they win a Super Bowl,
I can only pray. The minute I saw that he stepped out, I said to myself, "Does Jerry Jones demote Brian Schottenheimer to OC just to get Mike Tomlin?"
I am walking into traffic.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's it. I'm done.
I just needed that passion, bro. We've been missing it for a few weeks. So
This is
I'm
great.
sorry. It's just
No, we need. Listen,
they've
I
been
think we
draining
need.
me dry at work.
There's so many of you just like this, and you're giving voice to them. The constant frustration. Trust me, I get
Bro,
it.
because it was fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin, fire Tomlin. And now we got Mike McCarthy. Are you happy, you
I
fucks?
know.
Like,
they be
I
begging for
just,
Tomlin now.
And the crazy thing, it wasn't Tomlin. You had a defense that's average age was like 34, and
listen,
your
we
quarterback's
should
like 50.
have got rid of Terrell Austin. Like for
Arthur.
a fresher mind at defensive
Yeah.
coordinator. We lost Danny. We lost Danny Smith. Like, oh man. Now that Bubblicious gum chewing wide, lucky, lovely son of a bitch is gonna be on somebody else's team, scoring fucking to get. I don't know what the goal was here.
I agree. I thought everybody on the table was on the table except for Watt. I really
Bro,
did. I really did.
I literally thought we were gonna go get Shula, and it was looking real good.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, yo, this is looking phenomenal. I don't know what's like.
He
No,
bombed the interview supposedly, like bombed it.
so but yeah, I heard it. Yeah. He probably did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It could have
And
been some of that. Some of it could have been just working the Rooney family because McCarthy had to work Jerry Jones. You know.
Yeah, a lot of
I,
people probably don't want to deal with it. Owners are very hard to deal with, right? And it's like you have to have that ability.
Well, you got to speak old boys club too, and I think he can do that.
Yeah.
Like if
But then
Marcus Williams or Brian Flores walk into there, or even Clint Kubiak, I don't think they're getting that job in Pittsburgh, even if they're qualified. I don't believe.
And Flores was there as a linebacker coach recently.
Right.
And he
Flores
probably-
got dubbed from McCarthy. That lets you know everything you need to know.
That's still Flores is a whole different issue because he's still suing the NFL.
He's still
He
suing
ain't
the
gonna.
NFL.
Unfortunately, that lawsuit. I kudos to
It's a
him
stain.
for
It's a
fighting
stain on him.
Yeah, fighting for the
Mhm.
fight. It's like John Gruden. They're both never going to be head coaches again.
Yeah, he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay there forever as a coordinator, and then probably just fall off into NFL obscurity because of what he thought was right. And is he wrong for that? No, I don't think he is. But it's how business works.
It's a court of public opinion. Let's hit the last little highlight here of the week because this was making the rounds. This was pretty big. Bill Belichick, old Mr. 24-year-old rubbing tuggies. Bill Belichick.
Oh my God.
We keep it hot here at Yards After the Catch. You know what I mean? Bill Belichick denied the first round of the Hall of Fame nod. He's on the outside looking in on a short list of George Halas, Curly Lambeau, Tom Landry, Chuck Nolan, Shula, all coaches that have been out of the game for a long time that were first ballot Hall of Famers. Pardon me. Belichick's got more wins than a lot of those guys. He's matched them with the hardware. What do you guys think about him having to wait a year?
Let me hit this one off. What the fuck is going on over there, bro? I don't care how long it's been since he's retired. I don't care how long it's been since whatever. The man not single-handedly, but as a coach, brought 6 championships to an organization that had none and is now the reason that organization is tied for the most. So look at the amount of wins he got. Look what he's done for the organization. You're telling me
she was a coordinator. She was a coordinator with the Giants. He has a
coordinator.
Right.
Listen,
Todd LT.
But listen. In a couple years, when they're talking about Tomlin, we're not going to talk about his Tampa Bay coordinator win. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to sit here and we're going to talk about his one. So but I guarantee you he's going to get in. So I'm not worried about that. This isn't a front. I hate the Patriots, but this is spitting in their face. Legitimately, this is spitting in the face of a great coach, of a great man at that. So I honestly feel like the NFL need to do something. Rework that. I don't know. Justify, rectify. Like, give him some reparations because that's crazy. It's madness.
It's bullshit.
You know what it is? At the end of the day, I agree with exactly what you said, but this is how I see if I'm in the voting room of those 10 voters. They're getting those voters might get kicked out of the committee now because supposedly they violated bylaws about talking outside about the decisions. Bill
An
Belichick is a
injustice is an injustice,
no,
bro.
I agree, but I'll say this, right? I'm gonna go on this side. I agree with you, right? He should have got it in the first ballot, but I'm gonna look at the side of why wouldn't you put him in, right? You named Lambeau, Shula, who
Yeah.
else? Who else are the top guys?
Alice, Lambeau,
Oh,
Landry, Knoll, and Shula.
Right?
how many rings Shula got?
Let's say we none? No, I don't think he has any, right?
How
Shula?
many? And Knowles, and how many rings Knowles got?
Chuck Knoll's got 4.
Four.
And Belichick's got 6.
Yeah.
And I know he got those 4 for my team. Chuck Noll got those 4 for my team. So you got to, like, I'm really like, come on.
Yeah. So I'll say this, right? So now I'm looking on the side of why wouldn't I? All those guys, you know what those guys were? They weren't fucking assholes. Bill Belichick is a great coach, but he's an asshole. His entire time as a coach, as a head coach, disrespectful to reporters, anyone in media, not going with the NFL flow. Like, unfortunately, being a head coach also means you got to play the game, and he didn't play the game. He just wanted to win, and I respect him for that. But guess what? He's an asshole. Off the field stuff matters. Oh, you know what I mean? Off the field stuff matters. And in a modern league, you got Spygate and Deflategate. And the minute that happens, there needs to be that's a 1 year, I wouldn't be shocked and listen, if they just did it to Belichick, I wouldn't be shocked if Brady has to wait a year.
So I'm glad you waited for that because that was kind of the crescendo I was looking for. Spygate and Deflategate were, I think, the only credible things you could hold onto if you plan on getting out of that voting room alive with an actual legitimate argument.
Yeah.
All this BS. Oh, he was mean to reporters and bullshit.
That's
Yeah.
Women's volleyball, we know what it is.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Unfortunately, you got to remember. You got to remember the people in this voting. If the people in this voting committee, some of them are media, right? And as a result of that, you got to read the room, right? So like, if I'm going into a meeting, right, and I'm going in guns ablaze, and I know the certain crowd isn't going to be susceptible to that, I dial it down. He never
but
dialed
that's the problem. We need to go back to the days of fuck the media.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I agree, but unfortunately, But here's the thing: he decided to be an asshole, and then he cheated twice.
The cheating.
And listen, at the end of the day, that's all. That's what we know of. We don't know the back ends of all those investigations. They could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Spygate could have been going on in the '80s with the Giants. You have no idea, right? Also, the whole thing with the napkin with the Jets, like people remember. People remember.
Brian, you getting a conspiracy? You getting a conspiracy?
Listen, I'll get my
I'll disappear on us.
I'll get my RFK Jr. hat on right now. Don't get me started. Right?
The NFL gonna send out their DraftKings mobsters. Chill out.
Yeah, listen. I'll say this though: if Belichick isn't getting in first round, and they're saying it's because of Spygate and Deflategate, Brady's not getting in first round, and that's
listen.
But listen. To be honest with you,
logically consistent, even though it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I say Brady gets snubbed for 2 years. I'm sorry.
Really?
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I think the whole Deflategate thing was crazy. Yeah, the whole Deflategate thing was crazy. Like, he knew.
Come on.
Like Troy, I remember Troy Aikman said he actually, I think he was a character witness for the case. There's no way you wouldn't know a ball is deflated prior to playing.
There's no fucking way.
You throw the ball, and if you're throwing a deflated ball, that means you like to throw it that way, which means you're intentionally a part of the crime. I'm shocked he didn't get a year ban. That's a full-on, especially. I think he would have got a worse suspension now because of the way sports betting is now, how it would have affected games at the time. Then it really wasn't as popular, and the NFL wasn't making money on it as much as it is now. Mm-hmm. But that is one of the biggest scandals in the NFL's history.
Well, I just think, okay, 2 things. One is a joke and one's more serious. I just think it's hard to notice if your ball's deflated if you got Giselle cupping them every night.
True.
Yo, dude, come on.
I got Matt McCusker energy tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is
I like it.
If I was a reporter over that 20-year span in New England, I would be like, man, he was a real piece of work. And then I'm like, come to think of it, he's the most winningest coach of all fucking time, and that should just end it. I would
literally just end it.
I mean, listen, they're all weird. Jimmy Johnson.
Numbers don't lie.
Jimmy Johnson took a while to get in. That
Yeah.
should have been a very quick one. They didn't put Drew Pearson in. He had to get in the elderly category, which is like a sin. He's like the
Damn.
first great deep threat. Roger Craig isn't in. He's the first. He's like Christian McCaffrey before Christian McCaffrey. There's a bunch of guys that
Roger Craig was Marcus Allen before Marcus. Wait, am I saying that right? Or was Marcus
No,
Allen?
he was after. He was or around the same time, yeah. But like, he was like that kind of, scat back. They could go with that,
Yeah.
high
He
yards, rush and receiving.
changed the running back position for the better.
Yeah, they don't know. A lot of people like T.O. should have been first ballot. We all know what happened with that. Like,
That's a whole other episode.
Randy wasn't first ballot, if I'm correct. No, Randy was first ballot. There's a lot of guys.
That's a topic for an episode right there. First round snubs. Like, yeah, like literally is. It's like Randy should have definitely got in there. T.O., Ocho,
Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, one of them isn't in, right? So it's like those guys.
Isaac Bruce, definitely.
Reggie
Torrey
Wayne,
Holt.
Reggie
Wayne, definitely.
Antonio Brown, in my opinion, is the best receiver of the decade. He's not going to get in, period.
Oh, because he's fucking nuts.
Yeah, right? So like they can't allow him on stage. That's dumb.
Yeah.
So it's like
he may whip it out.
And then the things he's done after playing off the field.
I know.
So it's kind of like
God. What's gonna be crazy is Bill Belichick doesn't get in the first time, and Andy Reid's gonna get in first ballot.
Yeah, he is.
Well, we'll continue to monitor it because there's people that are going to be up this year too. But
Jason,
how many Super Bowls has Andy Reid been to?
2 with the Eagles and 4 with
2 with the Eagles?
I thought it was 5.
I think if 5 with no. How many did he go with the Chiefs? 3, 4?
He went like 5.
Probably 5. Honestly,
5,
they won 3 and they lost 2, so 5 with the Chiefs and 2 with Philadelphia.
Wow.
Or 1 with
Philly. One with Philly. I thought it was 1 with Philly.
Maybe it was 1 with Philly, 2 NFC championships.
That was it. By the time Philly won that first ring,
it was Doug. It was Dougie.
Dougie Fresh. He was over there.
Yeah, he went to 2 NFC title games with McNabb and then 1 Super Bowl. But he's making a case as he's going to hit 300 wins, or if he hasn't already, he's going to be in that category.
No, he's up there. He's up there right now. He's the best, technically the best coach right now. Like, if you're looking at longevity, stats, records, like all that, right now, Andy's the best. But, what is it? Sean McVay. What stat does Sean McVay have right now? He's the second oldest coach or second most winning.
Sean Payton?
Sean McVay.
I mean, second
most wins for under 40, I think it is.
Oh, okay. Something like that.
Yeah.
He's got something
with that.
He's got it's something I just
most
saw.
Playoff appearances. There's something I forget what it is too.
But because what is it? All these coaches just got fired. McVay is like McVay's like
it might be most playoff wins right now as an active coach. Maybe that's
something like it's as an active coach he's got the most something, but he's mad young though. That's the thing. Like.
Someone else who's mad young that I wanted to just shout out because he may be a dark horse pick. Grant Udinsky, OC for Jacksonville, may be up for some.
Oh,
yeah.
Jacksonville did great work offensively this year, bro.
Yeah, someone we left out of the conversation, but I knew we couldn't if we wanted to be ahead of things, so I wanted to just shout him out before we move on.
Yeah,
smart move.
Smart move. Yeah. I'll tell you this: we didn't talk about it. I love what the Tennessee Titans are doing right now with Daboll and stuff.
Oh, dude. Listen.
Nuts.
Listen, people need to stop playing. The Tennessee Titans are about to be powerhouse. Like, not this year, not next year. I mean, this year because this year eventually starts the new season. Yeah, it's you got to watch what they got going on because even the Panthers too. Panthers next year are my dark horse. I'm calling it now.
Not dark horse. You. Playoffs.
They're my dark horse because they
record playoff.
They accidentally made the playoffs. They didn't play like it was. All they needed was somebody to lose or win, and they would have been gone. Snub City.
GM was pissed that they made it. Less draft.
Yeah, literally.
I'm gonna be sitting in my seat going la 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 la. I just want to see Fernando on the stage, and I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
You think Mendoza hit the portal?
What's up?
Mendoza hit the portal?
Ain't the what?
The brother did. I think the brother left.
Oh,
the brother left.
Yeah.
I
Big
forgot
Benny's
about
been
to say,
dialing up.
because I heard your boy your team got the number one pick. I heard that went straight back to college. He was
That was
like,
Moore,
yeah,
yeah. That was Dante Moore, yeah, with the
it was
Jets. No
Dante
way.
Moore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
in
yeah.
Oregon. No way I'm going to the Jets. That team is gonna burn.
Yeah. It's basically like drafting what's his face? Like you already got.
Yeah, Shit Fields.
Yeah, like having Fields. Great stuff, gentlemen. I want to save a little bit of that smoke for next week when we do our Super Bowl picks. I thought tonight would be kind of fun to change it up and little window into our world. People at home, we do a lot of shit talking, a lot of shit posting in our group chat, and once in a while we get a little tinfoil hat conspiracy theory because we're young men under 30. It's what we do. So, with that being said, I wanted to pull up this article. I want to go through it a little bit just because it's an
Wait,
interesting theory to toss around. What's up, Bars?
you guys are under 30?
No, I meant around.
I am. I'm 26. I'm 26.
He's the baby.
Yeah.
I'm old as shit.
Fucking.
I'm
This
born in
guy's
99.
got green. He's got green. He's green around the gills.
Yeah, I'm born in 99, brother.
Yo, get him 99. Get this
Yeah.
man 6 shots of Jameson.
I'm Irish. You know I love that. Come on, we'll get it started.
I
Listen, tell him
I
more
drink
dude.
scotch older than Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I swear to God.
Ready for this? Imagine being a Cowboy fan and never seeing them win. Horrible life.
Well, it means you're legit.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
alive when you guys won.
Yeah, I know. My dad said
It's
my dad
crazy.
my dad was in his 30s. It says it was heavy. Oh God.
So this was posted Monday by Yahoo Sports. So this has been a theory going on that's been super viral online for any internet heads, younger crowd that watches the show. The substation theory has been something that's been linked to a lot of the 49er players getting injured over the past year or so when they moved to the new stadium, Levi Stadium, up there in San Francisco. There's been speculation as to why is this team always fucking hurt? And what is it with pulling hammies, torn ligaments, and yada yada? So I just wanted y'all to ponder this as we spend a week, pontificating as we wait for the Pro Bowl to end because it's a disaster. We got no football this weekend, so I thought this would be fun to kind of end tonight with. Since Super Bowl 60 said be played at Levi Stadium, the presumption was that the two finalists would base their preparations at the nearby San Francisco 49ers training facility. Turns out that won't be the case. According to veteran NFL analyst Chase Sr., the Patriots are set to hold their Super Bowl practice sessions at Stanford University while the Seahawks will prepare at San Jose State. Neither team will be using the 49ers practice facility in Santa Clara, despite staying in the Bay Area for the week leading up to kickoff. Yes, the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks have deliberately chosen Freudian slip. Their decision has gotten people talking, given the narrative surrounding the 49ers season. The Niners training facility has come under major scrutiny in the past few months due to an intriguing theory. It centers around an electrical substation adjacent to the 49ers training complex at Levi Stadium. Known online as the substation theory, it suggests prolonged exposure to electromotive force, EMF, could be contributing to the team's long-standing injury problems. On the surface, the setup is practical as both teams get on their own private space, minimal logistical overlap, and tighter security, but the timing makes it hard not to connect it with the substation theory surrounding the 49ers. With the idea originated on social media has widely dismissed by medical professionals as unscientific, where we've heard that before, it has become serious enough that the 49ers themselves are looking into it. San Francisco General Manager John Lynch confirmed the organization is examining everything, including the substation theory, because it deals with alleged health and safety of our players. I think you have to look into it, everything he's has said. We've been reaching out to anyone who has to anyone and everyone who see. Does a study exist other than a guy sticking an apparatus underneath the fence and coming up with a number one that I have no idea what that means? That's what we know exists. We haven't heard the debunked, Lynch added. The investigation comes after a brutal year in which the 49ers lost stars like Bosa, Warner, Kittle to season-ending injuries. They also led the league in adjusted salary cap value lost to injured reserves. So when the two Super Bowl teams chose not to practice anywhere near the 49ers facility, it's natural to connect the dots, though no one has yet to do it publicly. However, it's important to look at these decisions of these two teams objectively. The Patriots and Seahawks decision are not unprecedented, nor are they necessarily linked to San Francisco's ongoing issues. In fact, the NFL has seen the exact blueprint being followed before. When Super Bowl 50 was played at Levi in 2016, neither team practiced at the 49ers facility either. The Denver Broncos trained at Stanford, with the Carolina Panthers using San Jose State. So the same arrangement is being repeated this year, 10 years later, for the same practical reasons. So this year, setup aligns more with league tradition than any other concern. Still, the timing narrative remained hard to ignore, especially with a 49ers top official like Lynch placing enough substance on the substation theory to investigate it. I thought this was, I've been kind of monitoring this on some of my other podcasts I do with my boys that are not sports related. I thought it's fascinating. I think there's a lot of truth to EMF radiation. You look at how they preserve newborns in mothers' wombs, and all the proactive measures that athletes take to avoid that stuff in any other context outside of the Super Bowl. I think it's too hard to ignore to just chalk it up as a kook theory.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would also say this, even if we take the EMF out of it, right? Any type of industrial manufacturing kind of stuff. So a lot of people don't know this. I'm in the AEC industry,
Yep.
Architecture, engineering, and construction. And a main thing that like we all talk about in the engineering field, I'm a structural engineer, is that concrete, right? Counts for a significant amount of the carbon dioxide put into the atmosphere just from the off-gassing of concrete
I didn't
cure,
know that.
right? So a lot of
Yep.
people don't know that. And it's a byproduct of it, but it's the quickest form of construction. And it's a very, we can make our own concrete in infinite because it's cement, water, sand, and rock mixed together, right? Unlike steel, a lot more expensive. It's more tariffs related. A lot harder to cure and procure. They get it from China and different areas, India and stuff, and there's a finite amount of it in the world. Its products as well, the waste product of it has to get handled as well. So even on taking out the EMF, you have an industrial grade, facility that just its products alone have some type of environmental impact. We don't know what's happening. We told Aaron Brockovich, right? Remember that movie, right? Like with like
Yeah.
water and stuff like
Right.
that, and like wells, right? Like we don't know the impacts of certain things near us in proximity to us, right? There's been a lot of studies with, like GE dumping their toxic waste into the Hudson River, affecting dissolved oxygen and fish production and all that stuff. Rivers in Ohio catching fire from chemical waste. We
Yeah.
see this hand in hand in, a global world where it's all about, saving money, making a buck, and not being good stewards of the earth. So, I wouldn't be shocked if there's some, topic of it. Back when Delaney Walker was a tight end two behind Vernon Davis on the Super Bowl run, they said a lot of free agents didn't want to sign there or re-sign because of speculation of the substation getting put in and cancer. So
Wow. Yep.
when you have that, also just looking at it, right? You have a practice facility, that thing hums like a motherfucker. Why do I want to hear that all day next to my practice facility? That could be a parking lot or like some type of or practice, strength and conditioning place. Could definitely be used elsewhere. The thing could explode, cause a fire. Just other things not even EMF related because I know it's a hot topic, right? But also at the same time, we know that you wouldn't want to live in a microwave, right? It's you don't want to
For
live
real.
next. There's certain things you don't want to listen like be next to in proximity, even if it's a placebo effect, right? And it doesn't do anything. It's just your natural mind thinking about it, what you don't want to do.
Yep.
There's some things to that. Turf could be a reason because of the injuries. It could,
Definitely.
a lot of people always say, back 50 years ago, we weren't doing isolated workouts per muscle group that we used to do. It's more of a holistic calisthenics approach, not in free weights, not with machines. Could that cause more stress, a wear and tear on the ligaments and muscles than it would previously? Or back then you weren't taking creatine and protein powder, you were taking a steak, and eggs. So like there's
Yeah.
some things that we don't, we're studying and we don't know. Like, yeah, this says it's great for you, but that's a general study. George Kittle might be the guy that, overtraining actually causes more wear on his body, right?
Yep.
So a lot of things people need to take in effect as we go into a modern game on sometimes knowing too much or being smart, if it works, let's not let's not change
Right.
things.
Yep. All great, amazing stuff, Brian, for sure. It's a whole
If
mix.
it ain't broke, don't break it.
Yeah.
It is strange though. Like 10 years later, they're doing the exact same protocol, going up 2 weeks prior for workouts. It is unusual,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a lot. I mean, it's never. It's in this situation. It's not Occam's razor. I don't think it's exclusive to the EMF radiation, but I think there is lots of like palpable fear with like the cancer effect and the injury, torn ligaments. Like those are definitely legitimate in my mind. And I think if you strip the football and the money off of it, and you just looked at like someone's house, you know, in the middle of like Western Pennsylvania, living next to an EMF plant like that, like we would say the same thing, like, oh, it's definitely that, you know?
Yeah. Well, put it like this, right? How many people complain about a cell tower near a school?
Mm-hmm.
Right? No one wants a cell tower.
Yep.
Even at the end of the day, right? Even if you could sign how many documents saying it's okay, it's great, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, it's an occupancy comfort thing, right? So like people don't want things near them. I wouldn't want them near me. They have
People
the
get
money to
very
move.
NIMBY. People get very NIMBY about 5G radiation for sure.
Yeah, you know, your iPhone, in your settings in your iPhone, it says how close your phone should be skin to your skin on contact to not get exposed to radiation. It's like 5 millimeters, which means basically you're never gonna reach that through. You're always gonna be closer than that with close. So
You shouldn't even sleep with your phone next to you.
no, exactly. Like these are just known things, right? Like
Yeah. But yeah, I fall asleep to podcasts every night next to my fucking head.
Yo, I literally wake up with my phone on my chest. Don't worry about it. Like,
and that's
bro.
why I think the
and
Cowboys
I've
are gonna
dealt
win
with
the Super
cancer,
Bowl
so
next
it's
year.
like, yo, it's like as humans, we don't care.
That's why our teams suck. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this was awesome. I appreciate you tickling my fancy with that last one. I thought it was a banger.
I like those kind of things. I think we should do
Yeah.
more of those.
Yeah,
I
we'll
agree.
roll them. We'll roll them in. I know people want to hear it. We're kind of in our own orbit, but I think people have a lot of fun with it. If you're anybody at home and you have things to say about the theory, drop it in the comments. We appreciate you guys engaging. We're gonna drop some more content as we get closer to the Super Bowl, and after the season is over, we got all kinds of predictions with the draft and free agency. So lots to look forward to. Until then, I want to sign off with Brian and Bars. Y'all got anything to say before we peace?
Yeah, I do
Enjoy
actually
the
have
week
something
off.
to say. The next time it snows and y'all stuck in the house for a blizzard, tune in the Yards After the Catch podcast.
Oh, baby. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Get your girl all fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shore Sanders to the Pro Bowl.
It's your
Everyone
wifey's
should hear
favorite
it.
podcast.
I love it. Brian, what do you got, man?
Shador Sanders to the Pro Bowl. Anything's possible. Everyone have a good day. Stay warm.
Wow.
Enjoy life.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know,
Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers for a Super Bowl since we're saying wild
Yeah.
shit.
you know,
Yeah.
EMF got to my brain. So McCarthy's gonna win a Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna win a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones has found the fountain of youth. And Mike McDaniel's right now is doing a dark retreat right now with Aaron Rodgers trying to find himself again.
I hope it works. Guys, this was awesome. A lot of fun. I'm really excited to reconnect next week as we get closer to the Super Bowl. And
Yes, sir.
everybody at home, like and subscribe. Yards After the Catch. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Instagram. Wherever you may find your podcast, we will be there. We're going to be moving right along into next year. So take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.